Here's something to think about. How come you never see a headline like, Psychic Wins Lottery? Jay Leno. Here are 25 unfortunate lottery winners you can't help but feel sorry for. 25. Suzanne Mullins won $4.2 million in the Virginia lottery in 1993, but ended up in deep debt to a company that lent her money by using her winnings as collateral. She borrowed $197,746.15, which she agreed to pay back with her yearly lottery checks. When the rules changed, allowing her to collect her winnings in one lump sum, she cashed out the remainder, but stopped making payments on her loan. 24. A man from California lost out on $1 million after he missed the deadline for claiming his winnings. The man, whose name hasn't been revealed, didn't even know he had won until it was too late. 23. Rhoda and Alex Toth won the Florida Lottery's $13 million jackpot in 1990, but by 2005 they had fallen into poverty and were in trouble with the law. According to the Tampa Bay Times, the couple declared bankruptcy and was accused of tax evasion by the IRS. Alex died just before the case went to trial, and Rhoda eventually served 2 years in prison. 22. When Americo Lopez won the New Jersey lottery with money pulled from coworkers, and after agreeing to split the winnings if it were to ever happen, he decided to lie and keep it for himself. When his coworkers found out, they sued him and won. 21. Tonda Lynn Dickerson won $10 million when a frequent customer gave her a winning lottery ticket. Good for her, right? Except that Miss Dickerson had previously agreed to share her winnings with her coworkers. However, upon winning, she went back on her promise. In a strange twist of fate, however, she was forced to pay $1,119,347.90 in taxes. 20. Evelyn Adams got lucky not once, but twice when she won the lottery on 2 different occasions, in 1985 and again in 1986. The New Jersey native, however, blew nearly $5.5 million by gambling it away in Atlantic City. Maybe she just didn't want to be rich. 19. In 1989, Willy Hurt won $3.1 million in the Michigan lottery. 2 years later, he got divorced, lost custody of his children, was charged with attempted murder, and picked up a bad crack cocaine addiction that ate his entire fortune. 18. When Denise Rossi won $1.3 million in the California Lotto, she left her husband without a word and never looked back. He didn't stop her, but after 2 years, he sued her for not disclosing her winnings in the divorce. The judge awarded Mr. Rossi every single penny. Now that's what I call sweet justice. 17. Billy Bob Harrell Jr. won the $31 million Texas Lotto jackpot in June 1997. However, it wasn't long before solicitors and freeloaders came around. A few years later, he ended up divorced, broke, and unhappy. The worst part of this story? Billy committed suicide. 16. Connie Rogers was only 16 when she won £1.9 million in the UK lottery in 2003. She went on to have 2 children and spent her money on partying, vacations, and gifts for friends. She ended up broke before she even knew what hit her. Nevertheless, she says she's happier now than when she was a millionaire. 15. When Lisa Arkan won $1 million, she bought a home and new furnishings, took a couple of vacations, enrolled her son in a private school, and opened a restaurant. Less than 4 years later, she had to close the restaurant, which was the main cause of her bankruptcy. 14. Martin Todt and his wife Kay missed out on $5 million when they lost their winning ticket. They convinced officials they were the owners of the ticket, but since there's a 30-day window for reporting lost ones, and they missed it, The jackpot became the largest unclaimed amount since the lottery began in 1994. Now that's bad luck. Or, if this list has taught me anything, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. 13. In 2004, Sharon Terra won $10.5 million in the Ontario lottery. In less than a decade, though, she ended up broke after buying a big house, fancy cars, designer clothes, throwing lavish parties, going on exotic trips, and giving handouts to family and friends. 12. Luke Pittard won a £1.3 million jackpot in 2006, but a year and a half later he was flipping burgers at McDonald's. Apparently, this British lad spent it all on a trip to the Canary Islands, lots of booze, a flashy wedding, and a house. 11. Vivienne Nicholson won £152,300 in Britain's football pools in 1961. However, she ended up blowing it all on clothes while trying to live the lifestyle of the rich and the famous. After a few years, she ended up a jobless widow who only had herself to blame. 10. Gerald Musladin won the $10 million Canadian Super 7 jackpot in 1998. After an outrageous spending spree that involved a new house and a new business, which went under, he ended up broke and sleeping in his parents' garage. Sadly, he hanged himself in 2005. 9. Ibi Ronquiloli won $5 million in 1991. However, she blew not only the winnings, but all of her family's finances on gambling and child support without her husband's knowledge. When he found out, he killed her. 8. Barry Shell won $4 million in the Ontario lottery in 2009. However, there was a warrant out for his arrest on charges of theft and possession of stolen property, and police spotted him after seeing a photo of him with his winnings. He ended up giving his prize money to a relative and going to jail. 7. After winning an $18 million lottery jackpot in 1993, Janet Leigh's earnings were gone within a decade. She was obsessed with politics and spent every single dime on political donations. 6. In 2002, Andrew Jackson Whitaker Jr. won $114 million. After giving some to charity, tragedy struck. He started going to strip clubs and drinking heavily. He was also robbed, his mother died, and his granddaughter's boyfriend overdosed. 5. William Bud Post won $16.2 million in the Pennsylvania lottery in 1988, but was $1 million in debt within a year. His problems included a brother who tried to murder him, a wife who took 1/3 of the jackpot, and a conviction on an assault charge. 4. David Lee Edwards won $27 million in 2001. However, he blew it on drugs, exotic sports cars, women, and even a jet. 5 years later, his money was gone. He died broke, and ironically was cremated because his estranged family couldn't afford to bury him. 3. When Laura and Roger Griffith won $2.76 million in 2005, they bought a $1 million house and a Porsche. Then the problems started. Roger took the Porsche after Laura confronted him over emails about another woman. Their happy 14-year marriage crumbled, a freak fire gutted their house, and every penny of their fortune disappeared. 2. Lou Eisenberg won $5 million in 1981. However, he ended up living in a mobile home somewhere in Florida on $250 a week from Social Security and pension checks. 1. Michael Carroll, a British garbage man, won Britain's £9.7 million jackpot. 5 years later, after endless amounts of cocaine, parties, hookers, and cars, Michael applied for his old job. Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button in the top right corner so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with your friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these 2 videos here, or just head to our website at list25.com.